In this video, we're going to look at how we can move columns and move rows. We're also going to look at how we can resize both the columns and rows. So to move a column, I'm going to say if I wanted to move the first name column in front of the last name. So I'd click on the column header, in this case the C column. You notice how my cursor turns into a hand. So now when it's turned into a hand, I just hold my left mouse button and I drag that column over, and you can see that there's a black line that's going down there, and it's also shadowed. So that gives us an idea of where, if we let go of our left mouse button, where it's going to place that column. So we have it here. I'm going to let go of it, and you can see that it's moved that column. And we can do the same thing with rows. So if I wanted to, say, move this person's name down below this one, I would select it, and once again you see that my cursor turns into a hand. I hold my left mouse button and I can drag it down and then let go, and it moves that row. So that's how we move columns and rows. But say if we want to resize either a column or a row, what we would do is we would go right in between the columns. You notice how when I move over the line that is in between the B column and the C column, my cursor turns into a double-sided arrow. So when it looks like that, all I have to do is hold the left mouse button and drag whichever direction I want to drag, and it'll let me resize it. And vice versa. If I wanted to make the column small, I would move my cursor in between until I see the double-sided arrow, and then I would hold my left mouse button and I would drag it. So you notice in this case, if the column is too small, the text will bunch up and sometimes it'll cut off text, and it doesn't look that good. So a quick way to fix that is you would go once again in between the two columns, and once the cursor turns that double-sided arrow, just click your left mouse button 2 times. And you see that it automatically adjusts the width of the column to fit the size of either the text or the numbers that are in that column. And the same thing for rows. You can do the same thing. In this example, we don't have the data to where it's flowing over into another row, but you would do the same thing as we did in the columns. You would just go in between and you would give it a double click, and it'll automatically adjust to fit the text in the rows. So that's how we move columns and rows, and then also how we adjust the size of those columns and rows. Okay, in this video, we learned how to move columns and rows. We also looked at how to adjust columns and rows width and height. Make sure to check out our other videos in the series on using Google Sheets. Thank you.